Now, love him or loathe him, ignore him or admire him, one thing is beyond dispute. For more than 4 decades, Charly Boy has refused to be ordinary. He's provoked, unsettled, entertained, and challenged Nigerians in almost equal measure, whether as the self-styled area fadder, the president of frustrated Nigerians, a musician, broadcaster, activist, social critic, or one of the country's most enduring cultural icons. But behind the leather jackets, tattoos, protests, and controversy has always been a more personal story. Well, now he's telling that story like never before. In 999, the memoir of Charly Boy, a brutally candid autobiography, Charles Chukwuemeka Oputa strips away the public persona to confront childhood rebellion, family conflict, illness, aging, masculinity, faith, fame, censorship, drugs, brushes with the law, even prostate disease and erectile dysfunction. With a foreword by former President Olusegun Obasanjo, the memoir is as much a reflection on Nigeria's social evolution as it is the life of one of the most unconventional sons. But after a lifetime of rebellion, protests, and reinvention, who is the real Charly Boy? Has the provocateur finally found peace? Or is this simply another chapter in a life lived permanently on the edge?
Every time they thought they had figured him out, he changed. He expanded. He shocked them again. You think you know Charly Boy. You've seen the piercings, the punk suit, the middle finger at society. You know nothing.
A man who is supposed to sit in boardrooms.
Bred and groundnut for 3 years, rather than become unwanted. 3 marriages before 36.
A drug phase, a native doctor phase.
He said this book would make you cringe. He wasn't lying. The warts, the gaffes, the glory, all of it. In his own words. Some stories can't wait.
Well, for more on this, I'm hugely delighted to say that I'm joined now in the studio by the man himself, the always fascinating Charles Oputa, better known as Charly Boy. How good to see you.
Great to be here, Charles.
And good to see you sitting in the studio in Abuja rather than fiddling with knobs whilst you're in Lagos.
But you know what it took me to get here.
Yeah, I know. It's been a stressful day.
Damn.
So we're hugely grateful to you for taking the time to be
Thank
here
you. It's
to
always
talk
fun
with us.
with you, and I'm hoping to have a lot of fun.
It will be. Well, I mean, you're the one who makes it all the more fun. So many things to talk to you about. But let's start with your memoir, which you've called 999.
Yes.
Most people associate that number with emergencies. But you've said it actually signifies the dawn of new beginnings.
Yes.
But I'm curious to know why 999? Why does a man who has spent a lifetime provoking people now choose a symbol of rebirth rather than rebellion?
Yeah, it's very key, Charles, because I've been there, I've done that, I've been smart, I've been stupid, I've been foolish, and right now, like the good book would say, old things shall pass away, and the beginning of a new thing. So 999 actually is an angelic number, okay? And it
Well, if you flip it over, it becomes 666.
But why are you flipping it over? I didn't write it to flip
because
it over.
I'm looking at the book, and depending on which angle you're looking at it from.
There's only one angle to look at it, and that's this angle.
Okay, well, it is 999, no question about it. But sorry, continue.
So for me, this is a new beginning for me, because old things have passed away. And in my new beginning, as I've seen the light, all I want is peace, tranquility, regardless of all the rubbish that is going on in this environment. I just want my peace. Like I've always said, I may live in Nigeria, but do you know the fight I have to fight for the Nigerian way, not to live in me?
That's a good way to put it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, a lot of fights. So now I know when I'm under a lot of stress, I know how to shut it off. Okay? I know how to, I'm a sleep professor.
So you sleep it off.
I sleep it off too.
That's a good tip.
Yeah.
Let's return to the book, because you've described it as unfiltered.
Yeah.
Was there any chapter you almost left out because it was simply too painful or too damaging to tell?
No, if I left out any chapter, it would just be because I have, vague memory of what transpired.
So you
at the
couldn't have
time.
told that story well enough.
Yeah,
Right.
precisely. But no, it's a tell-all kind of book.
Right.
I made mistakes in my life, Charles. I've been a thief. I've done very risky things. I've done very stupid things, very foolish things. But in fact, I have no business being here with you tonight. But I guess there's a purpose for my life. And I'm glad I found out what that purpose is.
And what is that purpose?
To just do things that speak to my soul, things that I'm really passionate about. And we can't belong to the religion of humanity without loving our neighbors as ourselves. It gives me some kind of high that I'm able to come to help people out. I'm able to, especially men. I went through my own cancer scare, prostate cancer, that is. And I know what my eyes saw. And I start to imagine why men are so afraid, because it has become an epidemic. One out of every, let me just say, 8 out of every 10 people are going through that.
True.
And 4 years ago, when I had my surgery done, for 2 years after that, I was like a telephone receptionist. I was talking to men who I didn't know, strangers, complete strangers. And the thing that really touched me was the fact that these are people who, most of them, I never had the opportunity of meeting them. But they were so much confiding in me. They were telling me things that was so intimate. Okay? And I guess that's because of how much they trusted me. Yeah. So things like that, because I need to keep busy. Okay? I'm retired. Okay? So I can't just go to sleep. I need to be doing something. I need to keep my head busy. I need to look good and keep busy. Hence my exercises, hence I watch what I eat, what goes into the body. I watch the company, I keep. I watch what I watch on TV. I'm very selective because I don't want anything bothering my spirit.
Well, you sound like a jolly good bloke now, don't you?
Oh, yeah. Right now, I didn't used to be like this before.
Right.
Before I was just, where's the trouble? Let's
Go there.
Let's go there.
Yeah. You mentioned, I'm curious, you mentioned that you described yourself as a thief before. What is that? How do you I mean, what do you mean by that?
You know,
I mean, you mean a literal thief or a figurative? I mean,
digging some more, Charles.
well, I'm just trying to understand.
When you're 20, when you're 25, you know, I guess I missed out the drug phase too.
Yeah.
Yeah. You do things like a 20, 25-year-old.
Foolish things
Yeah,
sometimes.
foolish things.
Yeah.
And that's why I call them foolish
Right.
things. You know, I was doing white-collar crime, yeah, when I was in America. Yeah. I was doing a lot of stupid stuff.
Right.
But yeah, I was about 25. So I couldn't be thinking and behaving like a 70-year-old. So, but that phase,
Right.
that's why I say, I've been there, I've done
Right.
that.
So
you know.
it's all sort of, but it's all in the book, is it?
Oh, yeah. I didn't leave anything.
Yeah.
Like I said, the only few things that was left out, which I met my childhood friend, and he was saying, remember the day we did this, we did. I said, oh my God, I wish you were here when I was writing this book, because I would have included all of those mischief and everything, you know.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you encapsulated all of that in a book. I'll tell you what, let's listen to, because I mean, you're not just a writer, you're not just a reformed person, activist, you're also a well-established, well-seasoned, very successful musician. So let's hear a little bit, about a minute or so, of one of your songs, and then we'll continue talking. Shall we do that?
Mwata misimo zikene mifike nganga mwata misimo wamitije menganga mwata misimo zikene mifike menganga mwata misimo wamitije menganga.
Brilliant, isn't it? I mean, I just couldn't help tapping my feet here. Is that song called?
Mwatamis. That was in the early 80s.
That song was in the early 80s?
Oh, yeah.
That's a brilliant song.
83, thereabout.
That's a lovely, lovely song. And I just
I
love the beat.
That was actually that's like a remix of it.
Okay, right. So the remix is obviously more contemporary.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But that was actually my first national
Hit.
Yeah.
Well, I would call that a classic. Absolutely lovely piece of music. Now, your father, the late Justice Chukwudifu Oputa, symbolized law, order, and establishment. You became almost the embodiment of rebellion. Having written this memoir, do you now better understand your father, or do you think he misunderstood you until the very end?
At first, there was no love lost between us because I felt I was living under this overwhelming image, and I was suffocating.
And he had a larger-than-life image. I mean, he was a Supreme Court justice.
Yeah, are you kidding me?
The Oputa Commission.
Always referred to as that man's son. And I hated that. So, of course, I was just going to do what I had to do to get my own name.
Get your identity.
Get my identity. Be my own person. And thank God, it worked out the way I planned it. And then it didn't take my father time to really come around, because he saw, it was clear to him that there was no competition. I had more money than him. I had more
fans than
I had
him.
more fans. I had more popularity. I had more, everything more.
Yeah.
And he even said it with his mouth. You know, one day we were sitting, the first day, my old man, you know, some donkey years ago, And he said to me, you know something? I'm really proud of you. I almost fainted. I was laying on the bed though, but I almost fainted, Charles. Because he's never, for a long time coming, he never spoke any kind word to me. You know, it was always, these are the rules, these are the
Yeah.
regulations.
And you're violating the
you know.
rules.
Yeah. So every time I was being, you know, he was very light, easy with the cane.
Yeah.
You know, and
He, as one of my uncles would
Right
say,
now-
he applied the rod liberally.
yeah, yeah.
Let's turn to the man behind the persona. Millions of Nigerians know Charly Boy. But after reading 999, what do you hope they'll discover about Charles Oputa that has remained hidden behind sort of the area father persona all these years?
They'll discover a very calm, calculated, somewhat, if I say so myself, somewhat of a genius. You know, Charly Boy is all contrived. Charly Boy does
But
not
that takes
exist.
genius to create
Precisely.
a persona like that, doesn't
Precisely.
it? I mean,
Charly Boy simply does not exist. Okay? Charly Boy, me as Mr. Oputa, I'm the creator of that brand
Yes.
called Charly Boy. Okay? So it's totally different.
so you become sort of, okay, right, I woke up in the morning, I'm Charles Oputa, but I'm going somewhere, so by the time I get there, I've got dressed and everything, and become sort of Charly Boy.
Well, it all depends on where I'm going.
Right.
I may show up at a place and it's not Charly Boy I send. I send Linda, my female side. I may go to a place and it's not just Linda or Charly Boy I send. I send the area father.
Well, talking about Linda, there's a photo we have of you, I think, by a horse. Have we got that photo? He's by a horse. He's dressed like a woman.
No, that's not me. That's not me. Oh,
Okay.
That's my daughter.
Okay, it looked a lot like you.
Of
Okay,
course.
well, I'm glad we're not gonna. Yeah, okay, good. So they made sure that didn't sort of turn up. But I mean, you write. You've spoken now about your prostate disease. You talked about drugs, aging, vulnerability, subjects many Nigerian men would never discuss publicly. Were you trying to free yourself, or were you trying to free other men from that sort of stigma of not talking about these?
I think I was trying to free a lot of men. Okay, because I know that there is a problem. First of all, we've been brainwashed. Yeah, men don't cry. Whatever you're going through,
Yeah.
chest it out because you're a man. Who says so? Men don't cry, but this man cries.
Besides, the tears do come. You just pretend they're not there.
Well,
I mean, not you in
You know,
particular, but I
yeah,
mean men in general.
Yeah. So I had to make it look easier for them to be able to talk to one another, to be able to confide in one another. Because you see, what's really happening with men, Charles, is terrible. And they don't have to go through all of that in the pretense, oh, I'm a man, so, nobody's killing you.
Well, it'll be a bit of a shock if we go around the place and see lots of men weeping copiously.
I know.
That
And
might be
that's-
a bit of a shock.
Yeah,
mightn't it?
and that's why I let it out.
Right.
Because, man, how can I deal with it by myself alone? No. So
Let's look at Nigeria. I mean, I know you. Well, we can't not
You
talk
wanna
with
go
you
there? You
and
wanna
not
go
look at
there?
Nigeria. You've often described yourself as the president of frustrated Nigerians. You still got that title.
yeah.
Looking at Nigeria today, are Nigerians more frustrated than when you first adopted that title, or have we simply become more accepting of hardship?
That's a tough one, Why is that a tough one? Because when is enough going to be enough? I don't know. I don't know. All I know is that I played my part.
Right.
I ain't stopping, but all I can do is talk. All I can do is share my experiences with young people out there. But you know, Charles, no matter how dark this tunnel is, no matter how hopeless our situation is, I still believe that the salvation of this country lies in the hands of these exceptional people. And who are those? The young people. Because which one I won't do now? I'm tired. I wake up in the morning, is either the toe is doing one funny thing or my hand is doing one funny thing that I don't understand. You know, it's
Sorry, I don't mean
crazy.
to laugh at it, but I mean, the way you say it is quite funny.
No, me, I laugh at it. I laugh at it. That's the only way I can, because aging and aging gracefully is not a joke. Oh. It's no joke. I see a lot of people I'm way older than, and they look way older than me.
Yeah, I have to say you
So-
look exceptionally good. I mean, to be honest with
But
you,
I work at it.
you're almost
And
ageless. The way
I'm a
you
vain
look.
person. I'm a very vain person. So I work at it. You know?
Right. Well, whatever you're doing is working.
Yeah.
Now, recently, you took issue with former head of state Yakubu Gowon's memoir, suggesting it left too many uncomfortable questions unanswered. What, in your view, is the responsibility of public figures like yourself, like Gowon, when they write autobiographies? Is it enough to tell their truth, or do they owe the country the whole truth, even when it's inconvenient?
They owe us the whole truth and nothing but the truth, even when it's inconvenient. That book was just a bag of lies. You know what?
Well, he would disagree with you.
Well,
I actually went
who
to the book launch.
you did.
Yeah, I mean, because I had an exclusive interview with him a few months ago, and so they sent me an invitation, and they were very insistent.
I saw one of the
Yeah.
interviews you had with
they
him,
were
and
very
he was still
insistent.
lying. He was still lying.
Right. Well, you know,
Yeah, well,
that
that's
he
my-
gave his
that's my
version
opinion.
of the story.
But you know one
of
funny
the
thing that
story.
happened?
And a very affable man, I have to say, very friendly, very. That you obviously you have your own opinion of him, and I'm not talking about the content of his book. I'm just talking as a person. He's quite a friendly, affable man.
He has to be.
Yeah. However, let's talk about one of the heads of states that you seem to get along with very well, because at the Obi of Onitsha's birthday celebration, you had very warm words for former President Olusegun Obasanjo. Before we continue with that, let's hear what he had to say about you. Let's take a listen.
That one.
Charlie Boy's Jaga threats is meditated acts of a comedian and making money out of the way he dressed. So I became close to Charlie Boy. If Jaga dressing didn't matter to me anymore. And then Charlie Boy approached me. And I realized that there's a lot of lessons to learn from Charlie Boy's life. How did the father tolerate him when he wasn't going the way the father wanted? If he wouldn't be a lawyer, but definitely be a singer or a comedian, was not what the father would want. But he decided to choose a path for his life. He maintained it, and he got his father to learn to live with it.
That's the great, some would say, President Olusegun Obasanjo talking about Charlie Boy there. And of course, you've criticized Obasanjo before and praised him at other times. What is it that you think he got right that today's political leaders are getting wrong, or subsequent political leaders after him?
When I first met OBJ, that was in Aso Rock when he was the president.
The Aso Rock presidential villa.
He left a bad taste in my mouth. I'm sorry, but I always tell him that. I couldn't stand him. I just couldn't stand him.
What was it about him that turned you off?
Because we took a problem. NTA under Ben Bruce.
Right, that's the Nigerian Television Authority.
Precisely. That sold, they were the ones that sold my program to Multi Choice. And this was how we now started the campaign for intellectual property. Most artists didn't understand way back in the days.
So they sold it without your consent.
Of course
basically.
not.
Right.
That's what happened. And that's why we took their ass to court.
Right.
And I was just going to go to the president, who I heard was a listening president. But the way we were being discharged, that meeting, Charles, didn't last up to 4 minutes. And we were honorably discharged. I felt like punching him in the face.
He thought there were more important things that he needed to talk about.
Precise, And then, of course, later, his secretary, who had worked with him when he was the president, was working with me, when I was doing my Charly Boy magazine. So one day she now says to me, I think I would like to invite OBJ. I said, no, not in this house, or not to my house. But he went ahead and put it together. And then when OBJ came, of course, my father was still alive, my mother was still alive. And after we had, I think it was lunch together, he now came to the side of my house and was like interrogating me. But long story short, from there on, we started to build this kind of love-hate relationship. And then as the years rolled by, I found out that we were falling in love with each other.
If you might put it that way.
And I know there are a lot of people who just can't stand that man. Okay? Just like a lot of people who just couldn't stand Charly Boy, the brand Charly Boy. So I see a lot of similarities going on here, But those who love the man deeply.
Well, certainly a lot of people respect the man.
Oh, yes.
And I think that's the most you can ask for many people.
Oh, yes.
But let's turn to the issue of marriage, because you caused quite a stir when you said that after 48 years of marriage, staying with the same person can become boring. I'm not quite sure how your wife would have reacted. Lady Diane, how she would have reacted to that.
I've told her now several times that, listen, this thing is getting boring now. I mean, what do we do? And I said, let's chill up things a bit.
But I have to ask you this. I mean, it sounds like a cliche, but I have to ask you that. How have you and Lady Diane kept her marriage alive for almost half a century?
I think the most important thing there is our communication. We communicate. Before she finishes a sentence, I know where she's going. And same here. Yeah? Our communication is perfect. We're like Tom and Jerry, okay? We're quarreling today, we're making up tomorrow, we are now looking for...
I don't think for most people Tom and Jerry ever really made up. But then you made a very interesting point, which I thought was worth bringing up, and for me to ask you this question, because you also said that you and your wife still quarrel regularly.
Oh, yeah.
Does a successful marriage depend less on avoiding conflict than
No.
on learning how to fight fairly and forgive quickly?
You got it.
Right.
Learning how to fight fairly and forgive quickly. Because if you have love, I'm too careful using that word love because I don't even know what it is. But I do know what being committed to a cause or a person is. And like I've said so many times, with me and Diane, we die here because she's been a good friend to me. I've been a loyal friend to her, I think, and she can testify. So, and the devil, I know, is better than the angel to come in it.
Indeed. Well, I mean, that's a very inspiring statement you just made. And I'm sure a lot of people will be touched by it. But many younger Nigerians know you less as a musician than as an activist. I mean, from the Occupy Nigeria protest to the Mumu Don't Do movement. Do you ever worry that the activist overshadowed the artist, or did you always want that kind of balance between the two?
I don't really see myself as a musician. Music, of course, was one of the
modes of expression.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
because you like to express yourself
precisely
in different ways.
As Charly Boy.
Right.
Yeah, music was just one. I'm a whole lot of things, and to pigeonhole that brand.
Yes, I see what you mean.
You know, I don't think that's fair.
And you've, of course, as we mentioned, you've launched a foundation. You've written books. This is like a second one. You've mentored young people. You've spent decades challenging authority. When history writes the last chapter on Charly Boy, what would disappoint you most? That perhaps people remembered only the controversy and not the strength of your convictions, or something else?
When I'm dead, I'm dead. Who cares?
That's a good answer.
Who cares? Who cares? And that is why I'm doing what I'm doing now. Trying to put as much into a book. So it's all about legacies. It's all about what I've been able to do.
So people can say, even if you're not here, although hopefully we are going to be here for quite some time still, but even if you're not here, people can say, if I want to know about Charly Boy, never mind what you read in the newspapers or whatever, I'll go and pick up that book, 999, and I will get his own account of himself. Yeah, that's a good way to see it. Now, you've reinvented yourself countless times.
Severally, yeah.
I mean, musician, broadcaster, publisher, biker, activist, author. Which version of Charly Boy was the real one? You know how they say, will the real Charly Boy, will the real Charles Oputa please stand up? When would you stand up if those things were mentioned? Or you'd keep standing up?
No.
At each one?
I wouldn't stand up for Charly Boy. Charly Boy can never keep a marriage like I've kept a marriage together. No, that's not his style. Okay? So I would still stand up for me, Mr. Charles Chukwu Emeka Oputa. Omemboji one.
If a movie was made about your life, who would you like to play you?
Oh, I've been asked that question. And guess who?
Who?
Derinle.
I like that.
Isn't that a good match? I mean,
well, you know, you're the one who, I'm the one asking the questions. You're the one who's giving the answers.
I think Derinle, that's who comes, right off the top of my head. Yeah.
Well, sadly, we've got a couple of minutes to go. But after everything you've lived through, Charly Boy, Charles Oputa, and everything you've written in 999, what advice would the Charles Oputa, who is now in his 70s, give to the young man who first decided to become Charly Boy? And would you tell him to change anything?
I'll just say, if you have a dream, Yeah. Don't let anybody steal your dream from you. Don't let anybody stop you from your dream. And even if your parents attempt to do that, disown them.
I like that. That is if they don't disown you first.
But there's a consequence for everything. For even being a good person, there are consequences. Okay? So if you're going to go that way that I went, by disowning my parents, then you better be ready, because it's a wicked life out there.
But did you actually disown your
Oh,
parents?
yes, I did. I did. Point blank. I said, I don't want to have anything to do with. At a point, I even wanted to bear my mother's maiden name. That was how bad it is. Because I felt my
So it was
father,
really against your father.
oh, yes, it was
rather
my
than
father,
against your
everything.
parents.
And I remember, I used to call my mama a witch, because she could see.
You're like, well, here comes that witch again.
Yeah, she could see into the future.
Right.
And I know my mama used to always tell my father that, listen, you're too hard on this guy. And I've heard it because I was a professional eavesdropper. So I heard that so many times.
You used to listen behind doors, did you?
I heard that so many times that I was like, yeah, at least I have somebody standing behind me,
Mothers are always like that, aren't they?
Yeah.
Charly Boy, what a fascinating discussion this has been.
Yes.
And the book is called 999, the memoir of Charly Boy. It will be out on the 31st of
31st
July.
of July.
And,
And guess who is hosting?
who?
OBJ. My daddy. I hope he's watching this.
Well, you can always send him the tape.
He has it. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, after this, the upload.
Yeah. He's a great guy.
Charly Boy, you are endlessly fascinating. And it's
Thank
absolutely
you.
brilliant.
Thank
And I'm
you.
so glad we could sit down in the studio rather than you being in Lagos and me being here or somewhere else.
Yeah.
Really good to have you here.
Thank you for making my
Thank you
day,
very
Charles.
much indeed. Charles
you.
Oputa, better known as Charly Boy.
Yeah.
Congratulations on the book.
Thank you.
Thank you.